Hello, good evening, and welcome to Thingamajig's Racing Channel. And we are here for the Tyre Shredders Racing Hoppers Academy, the M6 Cup Round 2. And we're at the Deep Forest, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be an absolute banger. Using the Group 3 we are going for two 20-minute sprint races on the racing medium tyres only. And we are absolutely breaking neck speeds at the Deep Forest in the Bimmer. And that's all the rules you need to know. They had 5 minutes of qualifying before the event to set the grid. And then that is it. Race on, ladies and gentlemen. I'll read you the table so far in this championship after one round. So it's kind of the results added together from the last round. Staples is in the championship lead on 40 points, with Rady in second place on 32 points. Froxy Dev is third on 30 points, with Racing Sim in fourth on 24 points. Then we have Vane in fifth on 23 points. Giaquila is sixth on 23 points also. Then we have Sai in seventh on 20 points. Apex Wolf in eighth on 19 points. Ayrton is ninth on 16 points. The Carlsberg 10th on 14 points. Ravy Davy in 11th on 13 points. The Big Boat is 12th on 12 points. Hoppers is 13th on 7 points, with Footy on 14th. On 7 points. The Hog, this one calls in TH Dog. I thought it was TH Hog or TD Hog, but TH Dog 15th on 4 points, and then Ghost Pepper 16th on 2 points. That's the table, ladies and gentlemen. See, I thought he was Warthog. THD Hog. I don't know. So then let's have a look at the grid then. Ladies and gentlemen, we've lost half the grid. I don't know if there's something wrong with the replay, but yeah, only 8 runners, ladies and gentlemen, I must say. It's a shocker. Right then. On pole then, it's the same pole as last round, ladies and gentlemen. It's Reedy. He is very fast indeed, so he'll be pole sitter for this first race. Can he convert that into a win? We will see. In second place, ladies and gentlemen, on the grid, it's Ayrton. Ayrton coming back for another go, and why not? He was rather good last round out. Then in third place, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Froxy Dev. And they had also a very healthy round last week. In fourth place, it's Ravy Davy. And his qualifying was pretty gravy, it has to be said. And Ravy Davy then, starting from fourth place. In fifth place is Apex Wolf. And the Apex Wolf may have not qualified at the top, but you cannot count him out. He has the speed, ladies and gentlemen. So Apex Wolf sitting in fifth place. In sixth place then, Giaquila in the Orangina is sitting in sixth. So Apex was fifth, sorry. Yeah, he's sixth. I said sixth. Is Giaquila. And one to watch as well. Very fast. Footy didn't have a great round last round, but made some big noise last season's academy. So I am sure we cannot count out Footy sitting in seventh, just ahead of the Hoppers in ninth. So they are your runners, ladies and gentlemen, your players. And we are just about to commence a fantastical 20-minute race of pure adrenaline and hopefully no tears. So Reedy leads them away then. 20 minutes of racing on the racing medium tyres of the Group 3, but was around Deep Forest, and they're away, ladies and gentlemen. Reedy, no Staples to worry about this week. Staples was rather swift and very racy, but Reedy at the moment has to deal with Ayrton. Can Ayrton live up to it? The Froxy Dev coming in strong at the end of the races last week. As soon as the tyres are warmed up, the Froxy Dev is on the march, but at the moment Ravy Davy is on the move. Ravy Davy all up and about the business, but the BMW not wishing to do what Ravy Davy wants it to do. Apex Wolf in that 5th place with a slide on, huge slide on from the Wolf, and Giaquila says, more of that, sir, and I can get up and whip it around. Footy in 7th, trying to stay close to the leaders, and the Hoppers there in 8th place, pursuing them. Reedy then still holding on to that 1st place ahead of Ayrton, but Ayrton is in his wake. He's in the tow, ladies and gentlemen, and he will be trying to get a nice slipstream down this part into a very heavy man, tight corner, tight hairpin. Onto the brakes they go then, and Reedy has got it all under control, but Reedy picking up a small penalty. He has been penalised. Oh, it looks like the Hoppers is having a nightmare in that tight corner. We'll have a quick look to see what happened. He's a little bit away from the crowd, so it must have just been a little late break there. Nothing serious, ladies and gentlemen. Reedy, though, that is serious, with a half a second penalty, and he's got Ayrton all around and up is Heine. And the Froxy Dev watching all, knowing he can get past all of this when the mayhem starts. Ravy Davy has composed himself now, ladies and gentlemen. We saw he had a little shaky-makey, and now he's composed himself and moving nicely. No, Apex Wolves dropping down a position and a half a second penalty. Ayrton is all up and about the Reedy. Reedy carrying on with that penalty. He's going to just try and keep Ayrton behind him. And Ayrton looking very racy here in 2nd place. The Froxy Dev right behind him, and that is catastrophical for Reedy. That's going to put him down a good couple of positions at this point. We are on lap 2 already of this 20-minute race, and it's a beautiful racetrack. I really do appreciate Deep Forest, ladies and gentlemen. I really think it's a fine track. Again, down the long straight, and the Froxy Dev now maybe picking up a tow from Ayrton. Ayrton may have concerns here. Ravy Davy being all up and about his business by the Giaquila then just staying straight and not worrying about the toe. Ravy Davy breaking the toe, pulling over to one side, and Footy now is up ahead of the Wolf. The Wolf's problems get bigger. He paid that penalty though, so has Reedy not paid his penalty? Oh, Reedy has paid his penalty, sorry, and has stayed ahead of Ayrton. That has worked out all quite very nicely for Reedy, but he's got to watch out. Whatever caused him a penalty last time, and now Ayrton's having a look down the inside, and he's just got his wheel to rear wheel, and he looks like he's just about made it through. Reedy did have a slide there, but I don't know if there was contact. It looked very close, but I don't think there was. I just think Ayrton had an absolute blinder of a move there, and now he has got to try and scurry away from the Reedy. Reedy very strong in the second half of the lap, but the Froxy Dev has decided he wants to be involved in this action too. The Froxy Dev all up and in theirs. He's doing their accounts, ladies and gentlemen. That's how close he is. Ravy Davy being harassed and harung by Giaquila, and Giaquila giving it some big welly in that 5th place. Footy ahead of the Apex Wolf, and Hoppers composing. No, Hoppers just having fun spinning the beamer. Ayrton at the moment on the outside of the bridge. He's there going across it with Reedy all up and around him, and Reedy not, is he going to go for a late break into the Apex? It's very brave if you do. Oh, it's a little later than Ayrton. Ayrton's gone defensive on it. Reedy's gone very wide, and he's left himself very much open for the Froxy Dev, who's coming down the hill now and chasing down Reedy. Reedy, what a battle we're having here for 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Ravy Davy's got his own issues with Gia behind him, but he wants to get up and about the business of those ahead. Then we've got Footy in 6th, Apex Wolf in 7th, and the Hoppers getting a hang of the beamer. Ayrton at the moment then leading the race as Reedy is trying to get back ahead, but no, there's a gap now. He has got problems of his own with the Froxy Dev all there. on his bumper, ladies and gentlemen. Now a little gappage there has occurred between the Froxy and Reedy. Reedy trying to compose himself at the moment from the defending and the attacking, finding a healthy balance between his racing, ladies and gentlemen, of when to go on the attack and then when to defend, as the Froxy making this battle for the lead very interesting indeed. And it looks like Ayrton is gaining out of it, ladies and gentlemen. He's pulling away from the Reedy and Froxy Dev show. Ravy Davey has picked up a half a second penalty, and that is going to make Gia's life a lot easier. Gia Keeler will be looking poised, ready here to get through. And no, Ravy Davey, he's gone through the penalties place. It obviously wasn't, he's picked it up too late for it to activate. Oh, Ravy Davies' rear end getting very slide happy, and Gia then makes the move up the inside now. He's going to be on the outside now. He's trying to swing it on the inside, and Ravy Davey doing what he can to keep Gia behind. Great stuff. Froxy Drev looks like he's dropped back from the Reedy and Ayrton battle. Ayrton with the fastest lap so far in the race, and is doing an absolutely blinding job out there in the lead, with Reedy in second, the Froxy Dev in third. Ravy Davey with a half a second penalty, and Gia Keeler is waiting for that one to be dispensed so he can get in and get ahead and try and get up and in that battle for third place and second place. He's been stuck behind Ravy Davey for the 5 laps now. He must be getting a bit sick of the back end of that BMW. Apex Wolf in 6th ahead of Footy. Footy must have made a small mistake there. There's a big gap between himself and the Apex. The Apex now getting on with the job of getting on. Gia Keeler in 5th place, still waiting for Ravy. Now Ravy's going to be paying the penalty pretty soon. The Froxy Dev seems to be dropping back towards them. Ravy Davey, has Reedy got a penalty? No, Reedy having a look at Ayrton as the Froxy Dev there, and now Gia is ahead of Ravy Davey. In the chat, Vodka Rob saying hello again, and Vodka Rob saying I'm watching you and the football at the same time. Cracking. Go! What, this Footy in 7th, going very around the hairpin. He's got a nice amount of space from the hoppers there, and Apex Wolf, another half a second for the Apex Wolf. He's got to learn his track limits, ladies and gentlemen. Ravy Davey still in sight of the Wolf, though. It's not all over and done with yet for Apex Wolf. Gia Keeler up and into that 4th place. He wants to go and catch up the Froxy. The Froxy, Ayrton, Reedy's back ahead. Oh, my word. When did that happen? Jesus, sorry guys, it was 40 seconds ago. It's a late break for Ayrton into the hairpin, and Reedy just slipped it up the inside there. My word, what a move from Reedy. So Reedy now leads this race as Ayrton tries to claim it back. And he's the fastest man on track at the moment. But Reedy just crossing the line. Is he going to beat that time with an overtake? No, of course not. So Ayrton then in 2nd place. He's having a look again. But Reedy, he's not making the same mistakes twice, it seems. This is letting the Froxy Dev close back in again. And don't forget Gia. Gia's on his way, and Ravy Davey, the loosey-goosey of the BMW, catching him out in the corners, but he scoops her up. He keeps her going, and you have to be impressed by his car control. Apex Wolf with that half a second penalty, trying to catch up with this little clan of racers. Reedy leading from Ayrton, and then the Froxy Dev in 3rd place, and Gia Keeler trying to close in on that gap. This is Gia Keeler on his car. Apex Wolf in the chat saying hello mate, some very fast drivers here now. And oh no, sorry, we missed a big one as I was reading the chat. Oh my gosh. So when we were on board with Gia Keeler as he was making his way around, chasing down the Froxy Dev, and the curb's a little it wasn't the curb. There it is. Oh, poor Froxy, poor Gia Keeler, back behind the Ravy Davey, and here comes the Wolf, but the Wolf's got a penalty, and Gia Keeler trying to get up to speed. And Apex Wolf yet to pay the penalty, tries to go past. Oh, I don't know. I think he was trying to get off the racing line, but Giaquila was alongside him. And Giaquila then keeps hold of the 5th place, just loses the Ravy Davy position of 4th. Froxy Dev still chasing down Ayrton. Ayrton's picked up a penalty. That is going to work in the Froxy Dev's favour, I am sure. So we were saying, Apex Wolf saying some very fast drivers here now, and Vodkarov saying, I spoke too soon. Germany have just equalised. Oh, 2-1 to England as it stands. Oh, we're England playing tonight. Good golly, Miss Molly. I didn't even know. So Ayrton then, half a second penalty carrying around here as the Reedy leads. The Reedy pushing the limits of the BMW, and Ayrton and Froxy Dev virtually on top of each other. Here we go from the Froxy Dev's point of view. Ravy Davy there in 4th, all on his own now, whilst Giaquila tries to catch up, and the Apex Wolf on his tail. We'll go back and have a quick look in a minute. On the brakes then, into a lovely sweeping corner, a long straight now, and the Froxy Dev trying to stay to the back of Ayrton. I believe Ayrton though has that half a second penalty that he's going to be paying any second now, and there he goes. And yes, it's enough for the Froxy Dev to come by. Unbelievable now. Froxy Dev up and into 2nd place, thank you to a half a second penalty. And Ayrton, he's thinking to himself, I must do better. Oh no, Ayrton nearly losing the rear derriere of the BMW, and Ravy Davy is on scene to report the action. Ladies and gentlemen, Ravy Davy closing in on that 3rd spot of Ayrton. Giaquila was in 5th with Apex Wolf in 6th. Footy 7th, and the Hoppers is having a nightmare, I think. But Reedy at the moment clinging on. We are 10 minutes. We are halfway through the race now. Plenty can happen. The Froxy Dev in 2nd after getting past Ayrton. Ayrton losing a bit of time to the leaders after his back end had a wobble. But he scooped her up. He kept her going, and everything is absolutely hunky-dory at the moment. He's even getting purples because he is that so angry with himself. Ravy Davy in it to win it, ladies and gentlemen, pushing on in that 4th place. Giaquila having to watch out now for the Wolf. Where is the Wolf? The Wolf has dropped back somewhat, and the Wolf then trying to catch up with the Ravy Davy. No racing sim. Where the hell is my Vane, my Psy, my racing sim? The regulars, ladies and gentlemen, the founding fathers of the academy, all of them are missing already. Footy in 7th with Hoppers now in 8th. Then we have the Reedy ahead of the Froxy Dev. The Froxy Dev coming in hard and fast with Ayrton. Oh, another half a second penalty. It's all going to pieces for Ayrton in the 2nd half of the race. And Ravy Davy is here, but Ravy Davy also with a half a second penalty. It's the battle of the penalty holders, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be tight stuff. When they get to the bridge, they're both going to have to slow down. And who is behind them? Giaquila. Little too far. Giaquila is... Oof, come on. I don't know, he needs a miracle. He needs a miracle, doesn't he? Half a second is not enough for Giaquila there to catch these two up. And Ayrton at the moment struggling with his BMW in these points of the race. The car a little bit fidgety, a little bit wobbly on the apex, not wanting to comply with what Ayrton wants it to do. And then we have Ravy Davy. He has had a loose back end the whole race, ladies and gentlemen. He has had to deal with a stepping out BMW on his hands. The M6 is a beast. Froxy Dev, half a second for the Froxy Dev right after he's got himself under the rear wing of Reedy, and Reedy gets a reprieve, ladies and gentlemen, as the Froxy Dev has to slow down for half a second, and that is it, it's done. And it's enough though to give Reedy a little bit of comfort space into the braking zone as he brings it around on the 13th minute. 7 more minutes of racing, ladies and gentlemen. Reedy under pressure from the Froxy Dev, and now he has to build again and close in to the Reedy. Ayrton still the fastest man in this race in 3rd spot, trying to close in on those leaders, but they've pulled away nicely now as Ravy Davy as well. These two had their half second penalties and have paid them. Giaquila trying to close in on those two, but he needs a little more penalty help for the Ayrton. Ayrton has pulled away nicely from Ravy Davy. Ravy Davy was really closing in. Then we have Gia. Then Apex Wolf is back, is ahead of Footy. Footy having an earlier nightmare that's put him on the back step for a lot of this race, and the Hoppers absolutely having a deep forest nightmare. Reedy, meanwhile, closing in. He's taken the fastest lap from Ayrton, and the Froxy Dev does not let that then deter him. He has not let the fact that Reedy just slapped in the fastest lap. It's not even purple on Reedy's. Oh no, because the Froxy Dev did 28.8. So close to the fastest lap. So it doesn't concern him, because the Froxy Dev can do 28s as well when he hasn't got penalties. Ayrton then in that third podium spot. And he has really got to keep an eye on Ravy Davey, who is coming with his A game today. And Ravy Davey taking no prisoners so far, as Giaquila trying to get back in the race after, what did they do? Pick up, it was only like a half a second penalty. No, they had a half a spin, didn't they? Oh, that was it, a half a spin from 4th place. Lost the position to Ravy Davey, which isn't terrible, only one position for a half spin. Apex Wolf in 6th, 129.7 from the Wolf, starting to feel the M6 around here, around Deep Forest, getting the feels. Footy in 7th, not breaking out of the 130, still hasn't cracked the nut of Deep Forest in the BMW so far. Hoppers, half a second penalty, and he is pushing on. Reedy at the moment, nice gap from the Froxy. The Froxy, 28.9 last time around from Froxy, 28.9 also from the Reedy. Some skating up ahead from Hoppers under the bridge, as we see Ayrton again retake the fastest lap. Ayrton not to be dabbled with today. He's in 3rd spot at the moment. And the only chance of catching up the leaders, I think, is them two to get into a little bit of a dice. Froxy going quite wide through that corner as they come up to lap the Hops. But Deep Forest is quite a wide track, quite a lot of space. I'm sure Hoppers is not going to get in these pairs' way in any which way whatsoever. And Reedy then, as we hit 16 and a half minutes of the 20-minute race, Reedy is starting to feel the pressure again as the Froxy Dev lays it down at 28.6 from the Froxy. There is yellow flags, that's Hoppers off the road, just giving space, I believe. And the Froxy Dev racing is commenced. Ayrton is through, trying to catch these boys up at 29.0 last time out from him. But he is still the holder of the fastest lap in this race. Look at him go, ladies. Doesn't that just make you slightly damp? Unbelievable stuff. Ravy Davey in 4th, and now Giaquila has been chipping away all the way, now getting purples from the Gia. Gia is on the move, ladies and gentlemen. Ravy Davey has got his hands full here, as Giaquila coming back at them again like they were at the beginning of the race, but it was only a penalty that helped Giaquila out then. And will he get the same help again? Ravy Davey, he's raced a Gia early on in this race. He knows how to deal with the Gia. In the chat then, oh, it's just under 21s Euro final. I suppose that's important. And Pete Brown in the chat saying good luck with everyone racing tonight, and I got both of my predictions right for the GTWS, and I got the Subaru BRZ GT300 and Aston Martin. Well done, my friend. So Ravy Davey under pressure now. Giaquila really is starting to lay down the law and tell Ravy Davey whose racetrack this is. Sat alongside in the BMW of Giaquila as we close in on the Ravy Davey. Has a little look up the inside, thinks about a late break, decides against it. At the moment we're fighting for 4th place here. Ravy Davey lets the car drift out wide, where Gia just kind of stares it out there, and it looks like Gia's got good car control through this part. as he closes in. Dab on the brakes from Ravy, heavy on the brakes for the pair of them as they go under the bridge, and now Gia really under the rear wing of Ravy Davy going a little wide there. Gia keeping the car slightly more controlled on the apex. Now Ravy Davy has let her go. He is tearing her up now. He is pulling away from Gia Keeler. Into the corner was Gia's demise in the first place, wasn't it? I believe that's where he had his spin. And Ravy Davy then pelting down the straight. And it was close. It was close for a second there. We're into the last minute, ladies and gentlemen. It's 19 minutes done. And Gia Keeler on the chase. Oh, Reedy, my God, no. Oh, we're going back 20 seconds because Reedy's absolutely pushing hard for that fastest lap. We are coming into the last minute of the race here. Heavy braking, and the Froxy Dev not giving Reedy a minute to think, and the back end of the Beamer goes just a little too soon, maybe on the accelerator. The Froxy Dev up. Ayrton is into second. Reedy is waiting. He's waiting, ladies and gentlemen. He's got damage, and now he's pulling away as Ravy Davy moves up into third place, and Gia Keeler back into fourth, but he wants the position ahead of him. Ladies and gentlemen, he believes in that position is being rightfully as his. It's his birthright, ladies and gentlemen. He was born to finish on the podium here at Deep Forest. The time is ticking away, and Reedy down into fifth place. The champion, well, he's not the championship leader because Staples is the championship leader, but he'll be the championship leader possibly after this. But who knows now, because Froxy Dev isn't that far behind on the points. And this championship just got blown wide open, ladies and gentlemen. It's anyone's game. Apex Wolf in sixth place ahead of Footy in seventh, and the Hoppers in eighth, waiting for the clock, and he crosses the line. Froxy Dev, it looks safe for him. Ayrton, he's quite got a bit of gap. It's these two. Gia Keeler's done it, you sod. When? Oh my word. So we've gone back about 30-40 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, as Ravy Davy ahead of Gia Keeler. Gia Keeler looking at the hairpin, nothing going there, and saves it. But no, Ravy Davy a little wide on the exit, and Ravy Davy on the grass. He's on the weed, ladies and gentlemen, and Gia comes through. Gia comes through and ahead of the Ravy Davy. He got wavy in the corner, and now he's waving to Gia Keeler as he drives away. The Hoppers crosses the line then, and the Froxy Dev then up in the lead. No one to contest that unless he does a Reedy. Ayrton in second. Ayrton, whatever you say it like. Gia up and into the podium. I said he believed in that position. He felt that it was his position, and he went and got that position. Ladies and gentlemen, Ravy Davy, his head is spinning after what just happened, and Reedy, his head, everything's spinning still. Not just his head, I imagine. Apex Wolf in sixth, Footy in seventh, Hoppers has finished in eighth. So we're just awaiting now. It's just down this hill and towards the finish line we come. The Froxy Dev, ladies and gentlemen, takes the win for round two, race one. A great drive from the Froxy Dev. Brilliant stuff. Ayrton then in second place. And Gia Keeler is the one rounding out our podium. Brilliant drive from all of our pilots, ladies and gentlemen. Ravy Davy in fourth, Reedy in fifth. What a shame for the Reedy. He does take the fastest lap at the end of the race. Apex Wolf in sixth. And Footy bringing it home in seventh spot. And Hoppers already finishing in eighth. Well, there you go. Wow. What an absolute banger. Thingy Fest is off to a roaring start with the OTH earlier today, and now the Tyre Shredders adding their part of the sim racing life into the equation, and we have been blessed, ladies and gentlemen. The Froxy Dev takes the win ahead of Ayrton and Gia Keeler. They all have their stories to tell, ladies and gentlemen. They had their adventures during the race, and they got themselves in the top three one way or another. Ravy Davy with a loosey back end in fourth, with Reedy in fifth with his spin on the final lap. That's got to be, well, not the final lap, the second to penultimate lap. That's a kick in the groin, if ever you've had a kick in the groin. Apex Wolf there in his BMW, ahead of Footy in seventh. and the Hoppers coming in 8th. We'll move over to race 2, where they will reverse the grid. It'll be another 20-minute race, ladies and gentlemen, and it'll be in the opposite order. Let me get there. Ooh, no, that's not that race. Sorry, we nearly watched URL's race then. This one, it's got to be this one. You watch, I've probably got them both the wrong way round. Race 2, there you go. Thank you, Hoppers. Big thanks to Hoppers for running this. And I think Chris is involved. I don't know who Chris, if that's one of the ones that are taking part or if he's not taking part in the academy. And I think Chris and Hoppers seem to be running the whole TSR situation. And thanks to the Hoppers for sharing the replays. We appreciate it. No, we're not taking photos. We're getting displays up is what we're doing. So Hoppers starts on pole ahead of Footy with Apex Wolf in 3rd. Then we have Reedy starting in 4th with Ravy Davy in 5th. Giaquila again behind Ravy Davy, just where he wants to be. Ayrton in 7th. And the Froxy Dev starts from the rear derriere of the pack. There's nothing more to say except for let's race, ladies and gentlemen. The Hoppers leads them away towards the start line to get this second race underway and finishing the second round. And we are a go just as I'm sipping my hot brew. Isn't that just the thing? So Hoppers leads a Footy. Apex Wolf, he knows he's going to be attacked already from Reedy. He gets out of the way. No, he just defends his position and holds his ground. Apex Wolf there saw that one coming, ladies and gentlemen, and held his ground. Beautiful stuff from the Apex Wolf Pro Sim racer, if ever you saw one. Reedy, though, still trying to get his way by, and he has got his way now. Reedy up and into 3rd place, but Reedy, absolute alien-esque driver, and now splitting the atom, ladies and gentlemen. Apex Wolf, one side of him, and no, Apex Wolf is ahead. My word, it looked like he split the Hoppers and Apex Wolf, but Apex Wolf ended up in 2nd. Ravy Davies got through, and the Reedy lost out a little bit there in that attack. Footy is your new leader. I think Hoppers just got the hell out of Dodge and slipped to the rear derriere. Now Footy leads ahead of Apex Wolf, who was side by side with Hoppers and Reedy, but the Apex pulled ahead. Ravy Davy got himself involved somehow as well, and Reedy down in 4th, getting rather impatient there. Wants to get by, making a little body contact to let Ravy Davy know exactly where he is and what he intends to do. Ayrton with a half a second penalty in 5th. The Froxy Dev up 2 positions already. Giaquila missing out somewhere, and the Hoppers, it looked like he lifted off and said, you guys go, I'm busy. So Footy at the moment doing a wonderful job. Look like a couple of people making moves. Ayrton, Reedy, and the Ravy's around. No, he's not. He's back on track. I've got to see that again because he looked like he was around to me. Not that button. We'll come here. So yeah, Ravy Davy looked like he was having a spin. Oh, that was, yeah. Oh, he caught that, ladies and gentlemen. How the hell did he call that? And Reedy, yeah, I think Reedy just mistimed his entry into that and just caught the rear arch of Ravy Davy. And Ravy Davy somehow not spinning. It's not spinning, which is amazing. Reedy then down into 7th. This still leaves Footy leading the race with the Apex Wolf in 2nd. And Ayrton with an half a second penalty, chasing them down. The Froxy Dev from the back of the pack has made his way up to 4th spot already. And Giaquila there as well in 5th as Ravy Davy and the Reedy continue to battle on. Hoppers is in 8th place, but he's taken himself out of the race. Here we go, Apex Wolf and Ayrton going side by side. Ayrton has to pay that penalty though, and the Froxy Devs dropped down, has they not? Were they not ahead? I'm not sure. Ayrton is 4th. Gia has moved up and then down. Poor Giaquila. Oh my word. Their car has got a really bad case of the spins. Ravy Davy and Reedy trying to come through against the Froxy Dev that I think has had an issue as well. And Froxy Dev Losing positions to the Reedy, and not Reedy yet. Ravy Davy is through. No, they're three wide. They're three wide coming into the braking zone, and Reedy just pulls ahead of the Froxy Dev. Ravy Davy there as well alongside him. Froxy Dev's dropped behind. He's too rich for his blood as Ravy Davy and Reedy go side by side around the tracks. Footy still leads ahead of Apex Wolf and Ayrton in third, and now Reedy is the... Oh, Ravy Davy's lost it. Finally, he's been loosey-goosey with the rear derriere of that car for the longest of times. He still stays ahead of the Froxy Dev though, unbelievably. Giaquila, we've seen him lose it, and the Hoppers is in 8th. Footy still leads, but Apex Wolf is making a fight of it, ladies and gentlemen. And they've got Ayrton and Reedy rather close behind, too close for comfort, I would say. But Apex Wolf giving Footy something to think about as they go through the tunnels, and Apex Wolf will be looking for the braking zone to get some action going. Apex Wolf then having a look up the inside of Footy, but nothing going there. But unfortunately now Ayrton and the Reedy there. We've got Ravy Davy and the Froxy Dev side by side as they come out of the corner, but Froxy gets ahead of the Ravy Davy. Ravy Davy though chasing him down in that 6th place, looking to make a a new move against the Froxy. The Froxy trying to break the toe as it looks like Ravy Davy breaking a lot earlier than the Froxy there, but coming in tight on the exit of the corner. Ravy Davy getting a great drive out of the corner and giving Froxy a lot to think about. 5 minutes into the race, we're a quarter in, and Ravy Davy's dropped back through that section of corners. Giaquila in 7th. He's getting faster as they go along, and Giaquila joining in the Ravy Davy Froxy Dev battle. Reedy now all up in Ayrton's business, and Ayrton is in the Wolf's business. The Wolf though defensive driving as Reedy does it again, but he saves it a bit better this time and continues on. Ayrton all up and about the Apex Wolf. The Wolf trying to defend the best he can, but defending in a straight line is near on impossible, and this is where Ayrton's going to look to pull alongside, and Apex going on the inside there, but he's going to compromise his entry into the corner. Ayrton taking a nice wide line in to get a great drive out, and now this is where the Wolf could be in trouble. With defending going into the corner, and Ayrton having a look, but still nothing going for the Wolf, but he's compromising every corner, trying to stay on the inside of the Apex. So Ayrton there is just toying with the Wolf not getting his maximum lap, and now Ayrton having a look up the inside. It's not happening though. Apex Wolf has it covered indeed. It's fantastic racing from the Ayrton and Apex Wolf, dicing at 150 miles an hour, and no contact. That is what we are looking for. And giving it his big beans, all the beans. He's shuffling all the beans he can. Meanwhile, Footy is becoming an obstacle. Footy's got to get a move on, because Apex Wolf, he's doing his best to try and keep Ayrton at bay, but he needs a nice open space to do it in front of him. And if he's going to start being impeded by Footy, this is going to make life very difficult indeed. Apex Wolf at the moment holding his own. Now Ayrton's got his issues. He's got a half a second penalty, and he's got the Reedy with a 1 second penalty. Apex Wolf may survive this straight, ladies and gentlemen. He may survive the straight, but we have still got 13 minutes of racing to go. Ayrton paying that. No, he hasn't paid the penalty. It's too early. He's picked up the penalty too late in the lap for it to register. So again, Apex Wolf's hands are tied. He's got to deal with Ayrton for the rest of this lap. Reedy has paid his penalty, dropped back. The Froxy Dev in 5th ahead of Ravy Davy. Ravy Davy giving him big beans. Giaquila, we saw him ahead of them guys. He's got the fastest lap so far in this race, but he's down in 7th for some reason. Hoppers in 8th. Hoppers is just, and it doesn't look like he is pushing hard, ladies and gents. Footy then leads, Ayrton's going for it against the Wolf, and he's got it finally. Ayrton getting the move done against the Wolf, but Ayrton with a half-a second penalty, and the Wolf, I am sure, is going to be well aware of Ayrton's penalty here, and the Wolf is just going to stay with him, stick with him like glue. And Footy, at the moment, you've got to say, is doing an unbelievable job staying ahead of the rest of them. And Footy now is going to feel the pressure from Ayrton, but Ayrton has a penalty to pay down this straight. Footy makes a small mistake in the exit of the corner, and Ayrton wants to punish him, but Ayrton's got the penalty. He gets his nose just ahead. Footy holding fast, ladies and gentlemen. He's not playing, and there you go. Ayrton pays that penalty. Can Apex get himself up alongside? He does. Reedy trying it as well. Ayrton though is in the inside of Reedy, and Ayrton keeps the position from Reedy. Reedy though is going to be racing hard, and Apex Wolf back in second, but for how long can he deal with Ayrton's pressure cooker? Unbelievable stuff. Peter Brown in the chat saying, I'm doing a 20-lap race at a high-speed ring and I got rain coming. Good luck there, Pete. So here we go. Ayrton then up against the Wolf, and the Wolf, the Wolf looks like he's gone a little wide here. Oh, the Wolf nearly sideways. 3 wide there from Reedy, Apex, and Ayrton, and Reedy goes ahead of all of them. What a pull. What a move. What a guy. So Reedy up and into second place, and Footy has stayed out of the commotion the best he can, and he has just driven his race, and you've got to say he's done a fine job. But we are coming up to 10 minutes halfway. Excuse me. Now the Wolf, when the dam breaks, ladies and gentlemen, it breaks hard. And the Wolf now down into 5th place with Froxy Dev getting a move done after the Froxy Dev pulls out the fastest lap of the race. Ayrton in 3rd, chasing down Reedy, who is on Footy 6 now. Reedy sends it up the inside. He licked that stamp and he sent it, ladies and gentlemen. That looked like a bit of a hesitant call from Reedy, and then just thought, what the hell? And he went for it. Yeah, and also looking to get by Footy. There's nothing he can do about that. Ayrton then chasing down the Reedy. The Froxy Dev next in line with Apex Wolf staying close to him. Giacchili got himself ahead of Ravy Davey, who's picked up a penalty, and the Hoppers kicking up a bit of dust in the background. Vodkarov saying this is horrible track for losing the back end. It is. Those tight corners, you just want to slam that accelerator on as quickly as possible. And in a rear-wheel drive Group 3 car, it can be quite temperamental. Reedy at the moment then threading the needle and keeping the lead. Ayrton in 2nd place, the Froxy Dev, winner from the first race, doing what he does best, staying calm, staying collected, waiting for the action to come to him. And Footy and Apex Wolf are going at it. They are dicing, ladies and gentlemen, dicing, I tell you. The Footy and the Wolf going at each other. It is a sight to behold. Footy then at the moment trying to cling on to the 4th place with the Wolf, the old guard, Footy and Apex from the season before, duking it out for that 4th place, and Apex going around the outside and running out of road there. And Footy, I don't know if he gave him enough room. I think he maybe. So Footy and the Wolf losing in position to Giacchila then. Giacchila coming into this race, into the second half, screaming and shouting, ladies and gentlemen, coming at you like Cleopatra. Footy better beware, because the Gia is coming on strong. Apex Wolf slipping down into 4th. He found himself on the outside of the corner and running out of road. I think he just ran himself out of road, I'm sure. Ravy Davey in 7th, still in the action and still raring to go with the Hoppers in 8th. Reedy leads the way at the moment. He's come across someone. Oh, it's the Hoppers getting out of the way. So Reedy in 1st, Ayrton in 2nd, And Ayrton, how often is he going to get sick of finishing in second? He wants that win, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't close enough to pick it up where Froxy did in the race 1. And Reedy, don't forget, he likes to spin on the last lap, or the penultimate lap. So there is still everything to play for Ayrton and the Froxy Dev. The Froxy Dev looking like he may have paid a penalty then. He was over the other side of the road. Footy and Gia coming through against the Footy. Footy trying to stand strong. He doesn't want to let any more positions go in this race. But Giaquila would love that 4th place. Apex Wolf in 6th with Ravy Davy in 7th. They all are rather still close to each other, and the Hoppers in amongst the rest of them. Reedy leads this race against Ayrton. Ayrton wants that position, ladies and gentlemen, and he feels he has raced enough for it this round to gain or to deserve the win. Froxy then in 3rd place, doing what the Froxy does as Footy tries to keep Giaquila behind. Giaquila, though, is up for the fight, on board with Giaquila. It's a risky move, I know. The last time we did this, we ended up facing the wrong way, but I have faith, ladies and gentlemen, that Gia can maintain the right direction this time. Here it was. It's looking good for him, and it looked like a little squirrel for Footy coming out of the corner, which gives Gia's job a rather easy, just moving up the inside of Footy. And Giaquila should be able to, he wants to get back on the racing line, but Footy says, no, sod it, you've chosen your racing line, you stay on the inside. And Giaquila does get the apex in the end. And Footy down into 5th as he gets another squirrel on in the BMW. It's a very unpleasant car coming out of some of those corners. It really does look like it's a wrestle and a half. Then Ravy Davy in 7th place, with the Hoppers in 8th. Reedy then, 5 more minutes to go in this race, and he is gently pulling away from Ayrton. Ayrton with nothing much more to add to this race. He cannot close in on Reedy. He needs Reedy to do another one of his famous late race spins that we're getting so used to seeing, because he wants that fastest lap at the moment, the Froxy Dev. He's playing the game, he knows. He knows that Reedy is a sucker for fastest laps. Froxy Dev picking up a half a second penalty, and Giaquila is not that far behind. Giaquila 29.4 last time around, but they were racing at 28.8 for the Froxy Dev, but a half a second penalty deficit on top of that is going to be a huge hit as Giaquila tries to push his car up and into the top 3. What an absolute smash it would be for him. Footy trying to maintain that 5th place ahead of the Wolf, and the Wolf is being caught by Ravy Davy. Ravy Davy on a push, 29.5 last time out for Ravy Davy. Apex Wolf at 30.5. He is losing pace to the Davy, and Ravy Davy ain't playing. He's going to come up and absolutely punish you if you do not pick up the pace. He's gone wide, ladies and gentlemen, and no room on the track. And Ravy Davy then up and alongside him, and that is Ravy Davy's position all day long. Ravy Davy trying to scoop something out of this race. After all, Apex Wolf on the fight. He's going to try and come back against the Ravy into this first corner, possibly. It's a very difficult corner to make a move at, as you carry a lot of speed in and keep sliding out. So Ravy Davy holds his position, and Footy just up ahead. Ravy Davy would love to go and have a nibble at him. 3 minutes left of racing, ladies and gentlemen, and we are in for a treat here, closing in on Froxy Dev, who has a penalty to pay. Then we have Ayrton trying to stay with Reedy, but Reedy has dipped, ladies and gentlemen. But Reedy, he's a temperamental driver, remember. He'll be pushing for that fastest lap that the Froxy Dev has got. And he is likely, could possibly spin his car out. The Froxy Dev then just about to pay the penalty. And this is going to help Giaquila's cause no end. He's going to be able to close in nicely to the Froxy Dev. Froxy Dev then paying the half a second penalty. It doesn't seem much, but by the end of the straight, Giaquila should be about a second and a half up on the Froxy Dev. The Froxy Dev then trying to get through the corner, and it was closer than I thought, ladies and gentlemen. Giaquila really pushing on, and now we've got a beautiful battle between Giaquila and the Froxy Dev. Froxy Dev picking up another penalty, is going from worse to worse. Ayrton still chasing the Reedy, but the Reedy absolutely flying at the moment, and the Froxy Dev being protective of his third place, and Giaquila absolutely stunning a push at the end of the race to try and grab himself a podium. Beautiful stuff from Giaquila. Footy in 5th place ahead of Ravy Davy, and the Wolf dropping back. His pace is slipping away come the end of the race, and the Hoppers absolutely sending it. 2:14. Jesus, what did he? Oh, he must have pulled over for a load of people, I think, in that last lap. Reedy and Ayrton at the moment, though, doing a fine job with the Froxy Dev. Half a second penalty with Giaquila right behind them. This is going to be painful, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be tough to watch. 1 minute left of the clock. So it might get another lap in after this one. And there we go, Froxy Dev paying his penalty, and Giaquila up and into 3rd place, ladies and gentlemen. Giaquila didn't seem like he was even in this race, and now he's up and into 3rd place. Reedy ever pulling away from Ayrton. Ayrton just cannot live with the leader here, and he will be the championship leader after this round, I am sure. Giaquila then in 3rd place ahead of the Froxy Dev. Ravy Davy still in sight, and Footy now. Ravy Davy's got himself ahead of Footy. Oh, did we see that? I'm not sure. And Footy has got, no, Footy did a terrible lap last time around, a 32.6. Ravy Davy with a 29.3. So Footy having a bit of a tough lap. Last lap around, and the Wolf is coming in, and coming in hot, ladies and gentlemen. So the final the final lap has come up, and Reedy's got through. Is there? I think they've all got past the line. They are. They're all going to get to finish on the same lap, ladies and gentlemen. And Giaquila ahead of Froxy Dev. I don't know if there's anything Froxy Dev can do in this final lap about Giaquila. Oh, Giaquila nearly dropping it then. And Froxy Dev is going to try and get a toe on him. Ravy Davy ahead of Footy. Footy and the Apex fighting it out on the final part of the lap. The Froxy Dev and Giaquila trying to protect his podium. Froxy Dev having a look around the outside. Hoppers has crossed the line. Giaquila maintains. The Froxy Dev going for the crossover. It's not there. And now Reedy brings it down around the final corner, and Reedy finally getting his win after that first race. There you go. Reedy wins the race. Ayrton gets another 2nd place, with Giaquila holding on to 3rd ahead of the Froxy Dev. What a race them two had in the last couple of laps. Ravy Davy grabs 5th, and Apex Wolf did get the position away from the Footy. Oof. Wow, that was a cracker, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolute banging race. So, ladies and gentlemen, Reedy finally crossing the line this round to take the win ahead of Ayrton. Ayrton, always a bridesmaid, eh? Never a bride. He's got to get that win soon this season, ladies and gentlemen. Get it off his shoulder. Giaquila, what a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. What a drive for 3rd place. The Froxy Dev with a penalty, but I mean, they got the penalty, so you know, it's the same for everyone. For the Giaquila didn't go wide and get a penalty, did they? So Froxy Dev has to take that one, and losing out on a podium. Ravy Davy in 5th, getting Apex and Footy there at the end, as Apex and Footy duked it out in the final lap, and Footy finishing behind Apex Wolf. Sorry, they're different on the track, but Apex Wolf getting that 6 from Footy in the end in 7th. And the Hoppers just didn't look like his heart was in it, although he did 32.8 in the end, but it didn't look like his heart was in this one, did it now, ladies and gentlemen? So, well, congratulations to Reedy. Thank you to Hoppers, yes, for sharing and sorting all of this out. Yeah. Thingy Fest, it continues on. I don't think there'll be any more tonight, but tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we'll open the day with the Ultimate Racing League's Wednesday evening F-Type series. And then in the afternoon, we'll be looking at the Virtual Racers Club's brand new series. A brand new. I won't even try to explain it here. We'll wait. But a brand new series from the Virtual Racers Club. And you never know, if OTH, someone shares the mini trucks, we might see some mini trucks this weekend. Okay, dokie. Thank you very much. Thanks to the Tyre Shredders and their amazing academy. Come back. Where's Si? Tell Si I miss him. Tell Vane I can't deal with this without him. Tell Colesberg I'm sorry. Tell Racing Sim that I long for him. Please get those boys back. Where have they all gone? It is holiday season, in all fairness, everyone. Everyone's taking their breaks, so hopefully they're just on holiday, and we'll see them again soon. Hey, Carbon was lurking in the background. Hi, Carbon. Do you want to go and play some Ark? All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to you all. Tooroo, peace and love. Peace and love.